what would be some key takeaways that you would really love listeners who may have no experience of this, a little thoughts about this, or at any level, what would you really love us to know or think about?
Yes, thank you. I think the most important thing to realize about our own relationship to death and dying is that in our culture, we don't get much preparation. That is really important, is that most of us say, oh, I know I'm going to die at some point, or my mom's going to die at some point, but we'll deal with it when we get there. Well, death doesn't come on the schedule that you anticipate or want. And so I would encourage people to get informed about what happens around death and dying. And I thank you for bringing up my book, At Heaven's Door. I think I even have one right here. Here it is. I mean,
right.
This is it. And, what I really tried to do in this book was share 28 stories of normal people having extraordinary mystical experience at the time of death around a loved one. And the stories talk about mothers who have either in utero deaths of their babies, or a month later they die stillbirth, or they have to take them off of life support when they're young. And so I start with that because that really gets people attention about, oh my gosh, these women are having these types of experiences and they're like tragic. But when you hear them talk about them, they're like, wait a minute, it was the biggest gift of their life. Like now, so we go on and cover just about every relationship that you can have to a loved one and their particular shared death experience. But and there are other books out there for sure, or there's other readings, other ways to get informed, but really make a commitment to yourself to become conscious about what happens around death and dying and how you can prepare for it. We have programs on our website that are self-study about these types of spiritual experiences. That's one way, but there's a lot of different ways. And have conversations with your loved ones. Like, what do you think happens really when we die? And then what do you want for end of life? Like, do you want to be surrounded by loved ones, or do you want just me, or just your family, or do you what do you want? And how are you going to make this possible? I mean, still to this day, only about 30% of people in Santa Barbara County, I think I'm about right, I won't be off by more than a couple percent, have advanced care directives in the form of My Care or 5 Wishes. So, if you don't have that prepared, then as we always say, if you haven't asked your loved ones or informed your loved ones and discussed it with them about the path you want at the end of life and death around it, then I can assure you, you will get the path you don't want, which tends to be full court press if you happen to have a trauma situation. Because, the doctors are good. You go into an ER with a heart attack or a stroke or car accident, they're looking around like, does this one have an advanced care directives? If you've got them, like, okay, he's got a DNR, do not resuscitate. Okay, you guys, so this is we got that. If not, you've got ER doctors saying, oh my God, this guy doesn't have a DNR. That means we're going to have to do CPR. And if he survives this, I'm more worried about him surviving it because he's going to have a lifelong experience of really debilitating injuries that will alter his life significantly. So, I don't mean to scare people, but it's worthy of the scare. Have the conversations, get ready. End of life will come when you most likely least expect it. So do the work now.